Welcome back. Now, today I'm gonna show you the 9 skills that will pay you off forever in your life. Listen, a few years back, I was a bartender in London. Just moved from Italy. I had 0 skills. I was speaking no English. My first job was in Burger King. And now I'm in a position where I'm running 12 different companies with 300 plus employees, right? So I had to go through a learning process of things that would have put me in a position to become the man I am today, right? And I'm still chasing for a new version of myself. So today I wanna walk you through something I've learned some years ago that helped me to start to see life with a different eye, all right? Now, 9 skills, guys. Listen, we're gonna learn a lot of things in this channel. I wanna give you all my knowledge, everything I've been learning over the past 10 years that allow me to reach the point where I am in today. Now here, I want you to write it down. I want you to get a notebook in front of you, a pen, and every time you watch a YouTube video, whatever is gonna be mine or somebody else, make sure that you take notes, because writing things down is gonna be very powerful for you. A highlighter, a pen, a notebook, that's all you need. All right, let's get it started. Now, number one skill that you have to develop and you need to understand is your introduction. What does it mean? How do you introduce yourself to people? Yeah, so when people see you for the first time, what kind of energy do you give them? Right? Do you know how to shake hands? Do you know how to keep your body steady? Right? Do you smile? Do you give a positive energy to people? So what is the energy that right now you are giving to people when you meet them for the first time, right? And not only the energy that you give to people when you meet them for the first time, but what kind of energy you give to people that you already know, right? For several years, right? Because obviously give the right energy at the beginning is important, but then you don't want to lose that, right? You want to keep that energy high all the time. So how do you introduce yourself to other people? What energy do you carry out? It's going to be very important. People are going to see you, are going to perceive you based on the first 30 seconds, right? I do believe, obviously, that you have a chance, even after the 30 seconds, to give a positive impression to people, but the first 30 seconds are going to be key, right? You will have a chance sometimes to meet people only for a couple of minutes, right? Especially people who have already achieved different things in life, higher things in life, right? And they are less accessible. So how do I make sure that I give a positive impact to someone when I meet them for the first time, right? Now, what I can tell you on the introduction is definitely you want to learn how to shake hands, right? Look people in the eyes, right? I meet a lot of people days, and when they shake my hands, they don't even look myself in the eyes, right? They are looking somewhere else. What's your handshake looking like, right? Is it loose? Is it strong, right? What kind of authority? How do you present your handshake to somebody else? That's going to be very important, right? How do you walk? What's your posture, right? Is it like this? Is it straight up? How do you want people to see you? Guys, your body language carries energy. So based on how I decide to move my hands, move my body, it gives certain energy to people. So you need to look yourself in the mirror. Something I've done in the past is literally I look myself in the mirror. I was talking to myself in the mirror, and I know it's awkward. I know it's weird, but these are things that you have to do to put yourself in a better position to achieve a better version of yourself, right? So these are the things that we need to do. Now, your introduction, number 2, what did I write down here for you? Positive self-talk. Okay, this is huge. How do you talk to yourself? It doesn't matter what people out there say about you. It doesn't matter what they think about you. But how do I talk to myself? If I have a dream, if I want to achieve something, and then the first thing I do, I go out there and maybe I share my dream with somebody, and if that person tells me, look, Pasquale, that's impossible. You cannot achieve that. What do I do instead? Do I give up? Do I carry on with my dream, right? What are the conversations that I have with myself all the time? That's going to be very huge. That's going to be a game changer, right? How do you decide to talk to yourself on a daily basis? Now, there are two options here. There are people that they are constantly negative with themselves, right? Actually, there's three options. Number one option is people who are constantly negatively on the way they talk to themselves, right? In the middle, option two, we have those people who don't even talk to themselves. They spend a day, a week, a month, a year, and they didn't have enough conversation on a daily basis with themselves. Guys, I have thousands of conversations, right, of conversation on a daily basis with myself, right, about everything that is going on, what's going on in my life, what about my family, my friends, my business, my employees, my team, my mentors, right, my goals, my dreams. So all of these start from here, right? If you want to achieve something, first you need to envision it, you gotta feel it, you need to start acting like that person already that is already in that situation, right? And then you gotta act. When things don't go in the right direction, they're getting a little bit tougher. What do? Do I give up? Or do I continuously tell myself, why did I start? Continuously give positive energy to myself. So the self-talk is what makes people successful at the end of the day, right? So how do you talk to yourself? If right now you're not energetic, positive all the time, the way you talk to yourself, this has to change, right? Now, number three, this is something that I had a chance because obviously I wanted to put myself in that position, right? Which is public speaking. Public speaking, guys, right? A lot of people out there, they never had a chance to speak in front of somebody, right? It can be 5 people, 10 people, 100, 1,000, right? I remember that the first time I talked in front of some people, it was when I was in high school. I was probably 15, 16 years old. And I remember when I was a kid, every time I would talk in front of the class, I would get red. I couldn't talk, yeah? I would start, my eyes would start tearing up, right? I don't know for what reason, right? But I was so anxious about talking in front of people that I couldn't just do it, right? So I knew at the time that I had to solve that, right? How can I present myself in front of many people if every time I get anxious and I cannot deliver the message I want to deliver, right? That's going to be very important. So you need to put yourself, my suggestion, you need to understand and put yourself in a position where you're gonna have a chance to start talking in front of somebody, right? You gotta practice. Put yourself in a ridiculous situation, guys. Look, listen, every time you learn, you got to put yourself in a ridiculous situation, right? Yes or no? So I want you to do that all the time because after that, it will come the learning. And with the learning, you're gonna learn new skills. And with new skills, you're gonna have access to different things in life, right? So you can achieve more, right? So what are the chances to put yourself into a room to talk in front of people? I don't know, wherever you are. Do you work in marketing? Do you work in sales, right? Are you already a manager? Maybe you have your own team. Maybe you need to do a little bit more of meetings with your team on a daily basis so that you can practice a little bit more. But this skill, guys, helped me to change my life, right? The moment I broke the ice, yeah, and the first time I remember, it was in my first job. It was in Burger King, right? I remember that I had to introduce myself in front of the team, right? It was the first time that Burger King was opening. It was in north of Italy when I still was living in Italy. It was a team of 30, 45 people, something like that. And I decided, I talked to the manager there and I said, listen, I would like to share something with everybody here. Is it okay? What do you want to share? Look, I would like to share a few things. We had a meeting. I went in front of people. Yeah, we had a meeting all together. The guy, Marco, was his name, was the director of that Burger King shop at the time. He said, Pasquale, I would like to share something with you guys. Is he okay? Yes, it's okay. And whatever I said, it doesn't matter. But I was in front of people. I put myself in a very uncomfortable position. And I remember the feeling I had was, wow, I made it. Now, the next time, I know probably I wasn't the best version of myself, but the next time, let's analyze what did I do right? What can I do better? The next time I'm gonna be better. right? So once you develop this skill, guys, you become a different person. Now, number 4. The number 4 skill out of the 9 skills we're gonna cover today that will pay you off forever, guys, is self-investing. What does it mean? Now, when was the last time you have invested in yourself, right? Investing in yourself can be reading a book, studying a new training course, hiring a mentor, a coach, right? So put yourself in a position where you're gonna learn something, right? You need to learn something on a daily basis, right? What kind of person do you want to become? Based on the goals that you have, or what kind of skills that person needs to learn to become that person, right? You need to start having this conversation with yourself. A lot of people don't even care, right? Don't even think about it. This is my dream. This is the person I want to become. All right, that's okay. Right? Everything is possible, but what kind of skills, what kind of investment do I need to make on myself to become that guy? So I want you to write this down. And right now, doesn't matter what industry you're in, what is your job role, you might even be jobless, I don't care, right? But you must have a goal. If you're watching YouTube videos, if you're watching my channel right now, I'm sure you have a dream, I'm sure you have a goal. So right now, it's time for you to pause the video for a second and take some time to really understand, how can I invest in myself? Now we move next, number 5. I'm gonna laugh on this because, in my opinion, there is less than 1% of the people out there who do this right. Become an active listener. Right? So how many times you've been with people and you are saying something and you can notice in the eyes of the person you have in front of you that they're already thinking, while you're talking, they're not even listening actively. They're not listening properly, right? They're already thinking about what they want to say next. So probably they're not even actively listening to what you're saying, right? Become an active listener, guys, in my opinion, is probably one of the top 3 skills that helped me to become the man I am today. When I sit with people, yes, I'm strongly opinionated, right? Obviously, a lot of things that I do on my daily basis in my businesses are things that they were never done before, right? So I don't have a track history of somebody else that have done certain things. So I have to be a little bit dictatorial sometimes, right? So I have to start things from the scratch. I need to envision, I need to create that vision. And then together with my team, we have to follow that vision aggressively. But I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't be able to manage this many people if I wouldn't be an active listener, right? So become an active listener is just a choice. It doesn't take skills. You need to remind yourself when you are in front of somebody, you just want to pause, don't want to think about what to say next, right? You want to look people in the eyes, you want to make them feel understood, you want to make them feel heard, and you want to be asking questions. Right? So they say something, ask a question, right? Go deep, right? Probe. Yeah, you guys know what probing means? Ask a few questions, get them to tell you a little bit more. Use techniques like the mirroring technique, which is just repeating the last 3 words of what someone just said. Use technique like the labeling technique. Yeah, we're gonna cover this maybe in a different videos. I'm gonna put this on my page actually, right? That's a massive topic. Become an active listener. Choose to become an active listener now. Right? This is gonna change your life. Now, let's move next. All right? Guys, I'm putting down the skills that helped me to go from being a bartender, and then I became a real estate. I was in London at the time, when I moved in London in 2015, to become a business owner. I knew I never done that before, right? So I had to develop certain skills to become that person. I needed to start to follow a mentor that already was in the position, already was the man I wanted to become. So I know now 100% I can learn something from this guy, right? Wherever is YouTube, wherever is books, wherever is meet these people face to face, wherever is, if you make already a few money, hire a mentor that can help you to get there where you want to go, right? So these are the skills that can change your entire life around. Now, number 6, this one is huge. It's time management. Time management, guys. How do you manage your life? So how do you manage your daily basis? How does your calendar looking like in a week, a month, 3 months, a year time, right? Obviously, there are people that are gonna come and tell you, look, you need to plan your entire year up front. I don't do that, right? I plan my next 3 months, 90 days, right? And if really there are some events where I need to go, some trips I need to take, or maybe there is a vision on one of my companies of things that you want to achieve, then you obviously you want to start planning ahead a little bit more, right? By my calendar, there is 90 days, no more, right? I plan my next 90 days forward, right? Now, let me tell you something. My plans, they might be a 6 months plan, sometimes a year plan. But what do I do all the time? I put down the plan, I put down the vision, I write down exactly what do I want to achieve, what do I want to get my team to achieve in this 1 year time, and then I start asking myself some questions, right? So the question can be, look, how can I halve the time, right? Now, I want to make this plan, I want to achieve the same things, but I want to do this in 6 months, right? And then I ask myself, is it possible to do this in 3 months instead? Right? Because a lot of people, they waste a lot of time into planning, right? A lot of the things that you guys can do in 6 months, you can do them also in 3 months. Out there, guys, there are people who are running a lot faster than you. Do you get me? Right? Do you feel me? So how fast do you want to run? There is a lot of competition out there, right? So speed, you need to act with speed all the time. So this one, time management. What it works for me, obviously, if you are in a position to get a personal assistant for yourself that manages your agenda, or someone that works closely with you, right? That's going to be probably one of the best investments that you can make in your life. And look, sometimes people might think this can be expensive, right? Obviously, if you want to hire someone face to face, it might be a little bit pricey wherever you are. But guys, there are virtual assistants like in the Philippines or in Thai, right? Or in South America, or in some parts of Europe, where you can get a virtual assistant for like $400-500 a month, right? And if you want to get a good one, it might cost you maybe $700-800 a month, $1,000 a month, right? But right now, you can decide to make an investment. For $500, you can find yourself a virtual assistant that will take time away from you. Guys, at the end of the day, money is time, right? The more time you have at your disposal to work on your visions, right? And then you can delegate to your team, right? So they can have their own goals and their own dreams, the more you can grow. Right? So I have a lot of people that I coach, wherever they are in sales, in marketing, they own a business, or they manage a business, they're business owners, they're CEOs. I have helped more than 100+ people from 5+ different countries, whether they're in USA, in Europe, Dubai, Albania, whatever, in Istanbul, in Turkey. So I have helped these people to grow, right? Wherever they are in life. And I realize that a lot of them, they spend a lot of time into doing things that they can delegate to somebody else. And obviously, if you get yourself a personal assistant, right, that knows your agenda, that knows your goals, that knows your vision, and knows how you operate, she's gonna help you to take a lot of time away from you. Obviously, now here, the key is sell your vision. Right? You can't just hire a personal assistant and she doesn't know what will be your vision, what your next moves are going to be. How do you want to act to people? How do you want to get appointments booked in your agenda, right? There is a lot of things that you need to start operating the right way, and then you need to let her know or let him know, right? So that they will work closely with you, obviously, at the end of the day, and they can help you to do things proactively as well. Right? So you don't have to waste your time on telling how to book a meeting in your agenda, right? For example, what kind of people you would be happy to meet and what kind of people you wouldn't be happy to meet. So time management is huge. I have a personal assistant. Number 2, I use Google Calendar, guys. Very simple, right? Google Calendar. I run my day, my week, and my month on Google Calendar. So everything, I have it on my phone, right? And my laptop as well. So wherever I travel in the world, I have access to my phone. You guys have access to your phone. You guys have access to your laptop. You can just simply go in your Google Calendar and you can see what are the things I need to go through today. What are the tasks? What are the achievements? What are the things I need to do? What are the meetings? What are the people I need to meet? Usually what I do is before I get to sleep, I go on my phone and I check my meetings for tomorrow, right? I go and have a summary of today meetings, right? My today day in general, right? I just go through to myself of all the meetings I had. Did they go well? Could we have done a little bit better, right? Could we have saved more time, right? Sometimes I need to meet a person, but we could have had maybe a conversation, my personal assistant or your staff, you could have had a conversation with this person, so this person could have come in your meeting maybe a little bit more prepared. Maybe they would have come with a presentation for you already, because they know already certain things that could have helped you to save maybe an extra meeting, right? Everything that you do, you want to try to speed up the process all the time, guys. This is gonna be for you and your people, because who wins out there are people who move faster. Very simple. Now, time management. Google Calendar, write it down, right? If you have a team, you can use application like Notions, for example. So Notions will help you to see all the tasks of all the departments, what are the things that we want to achieve, the vision, right? The daily task. So everything is going to be there, and it can create like a map. Yeah, a nice mapping with everything, so you can have access, so you can see what everybody is doing all the time, right? That's something that you can also use, but make sure that you manage your time correctly, guys. You gotta have some rituals, you gotta have some discipline, yeah? Because if you miss a meeting or you're late for a meeting, you know you might potentially be late for the rest of the meetings of the day, right? And that happens also to me sometimes when my agenda is filled of meetings, right? So you want to make sure that you manage your time correctly. One day before you go to sleep, you already know what are the things you need to go through, right? So you can put your alarm, you go have a training, maybe you go for a walk, you have your routine before you start the day, and then you know already what's gonna happen during the day. Why is it important as well, guys? Because based on the day you're gonna have, right, you need to carry that day with a certain energy. Does it make sense? Right? So you want to carry yourself with a certain energy so that you can face your day in the right way. It's very important. Keep track of everything, right? Everything you do is in my agenda. I tell my personal assistant all the time, you're my boss. My agenda and you guys are my boss, right? I approach life based on what's in my agenda, right? And sometimes people that I know since many years, they might get a little bit frustrated because they say they want to book a meeting with me. I said, look, I'm gonna ask Pumi to reach out to you, right? So that she can find a good time for the both of us to meet up. And they're like, hey, come on, can you not just give me a time, right? No, I cannot, because I'm not the one running my agenda. So you're gonna have those people there. Yeah, the moment you're gonna start doing this, and maybe you're gonna hire a virtual assistant or maybe a personal assistant live, right? You're gonna have people trying to be funny with you, right? So stay strong and stay in with your decision, right? Don't ever step back, because that's gonna be a game changer in your life. Number seven. Number seven is total recreation. I want you to look yourself in the mirror for a second. What do you see? What kind of man, what kind of woman, what kind of person do you see right now? If you look yourself in the mirror, what do you see? How is your body shape, right? How is your face? How do you look, right? Have you shaved your beard? Have you gone to the barber, right? So how do you look? And what kind of energy do you bring to the world? What kind of skills do you have? Right? It doesn't matter where you are now. You know that all it takes, guys, is 100 days. 100 days you can change your entire life around. So I like to call it total recreation. You gotta change, right? You need to take your body to the next level. You need to start being disciplined. You cannot just make the same mistakes you're making now. You can't go out for a dinner or drink alcohol on a daily basis, right? You can't do that. So do you want to get your total recreation done? Do you want to see yourself in the mirror in some months down the road as a new version of yourself 2.0, right? How is that version looking like, right? It can be your body shape, it can be your skills, it can be the way you talk, it can be the way you walk, whatever it is. Write those things down. What do I want to get better at? Write it down now and go complete total recreation and never step back. A lot of people, they say, yes, I want to get fit, but then they interrupt it in a week, 2 weeks, or maybe a month of time, right? Can you be consistent, right? So give yourself something that worked with me is I give myself some why. Yeah, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to achieve certain things, right? I want to get this body shape in place. Okay, good. Why do I want to do it? what kind of results, what kind of benefit this is going to give you later on, right? So you need to put yourself a list of whys so that in the tough moments, because those tough moments are going to come, right? You have the list of why, and potentially you can even have a list of people that didn't believe in you. You can write them down so you can read those names in your notebook, and this is going to give you the energy to carry on. But anyone can change if you guys take a decision. If you take a decision today, total recreation. Now, number 8, very simple, skills, right? When was the last time you learned a new skill? When was the last time you learned a new skill? Have you learned a new skill yesterday? Have you learned new skills in the last week, the last month, right? Are you learning new skills on a daily basis? Guys, I get frustrated when at the end of the day, if I had a day that was so busy, right? And sometimes you might feel like, well, I didn't do enough, or I didn't learn something new. But then at the end of the day, you go back to your busy agenda and say, you know what? I actually learned a lot of things, right? And what is it you're learning? You need to analyze yourself. You need to analyze your day-to-day agenda, because if you invest a few minutes during the day to really analyze what has happened, you can come out with a lot of things that you have learned, right? When was the last time you read a book? Guys, I wanted to go from be a real estate to become a business owner. I knew I couldn't be a business owner if I stayed the man I was at the time. First of all, I was 114 kilos at the time in London, right? I had a belly that was this big. I didn't train, right? I didn't care about my body. I was going out, I was making a bit of money. I was drinking alcohol on a daily basis, pretty much, going out for dinner, have parties. But that, at the end of the day, it was not helping me, right? I couldn't own any business that could last, right? If I was staying the person I was at the time, right? So I knew that I had to develop new skills. Listen to me. I see life like a video game, right? And in these video games, there are different levels, right? And obviously, the more you go up, the more you access to different levels, the more things get tough. But how do you access to different levels? There's only one answer. You got to have new skills. Because the moment you develop, the moment you learn new things, now you have access to a new level of life. And this new level is something that is completely new. You could not see with your eyes standing on the level below, right? So now you have access to the new level. Obviously, you might feel a little bit lost, right? Think about it for a second. You're in a video game. Now you have access to a new level. Things that you've never seen, right? Enemies you've never seen, friends you've never seen, right? New relationship they need to develop, right? New things you need to go through, right? Everything is new. You feel uncomfortable, right? But now, during that level into the video game, you will develop the experience and the skills that you will need to go to the next level. Right? Yes or no? This is how it works. And this is how life works, guys. You have to put yourself in a position on a daily basis to learn new skills, guys. This is going to be huge. This is going to give you access to different levels in your life. If you don't do it, you stay stuck where you are and you can't grow, you can't develop, right? A lot of people, they come to me and say, look, this is where I want to go. But they don't understand that to go there, you need to become a different person first. You need to gain new skills, right? You can't just go there, right, with this level of skills that you have right now. You can't just do it, right? So you need to become a different person first so that you can have access to different things. Does it make sense? I hope it makes sense. Write it down. Skills. How are you going to find those skills? Where are you going to learn those skills? Guys, today's we are in 2026, right? You can learn anything. Even now with the entry of AI, you can learn anything, right? Nobody has excuses anymore, right? You can literally learn anything, anywhere, at any time, right? So go and learn those skills. Can be with AI, can be on YouTube, right? I remember at the time, my best friend, still today, is my laptop, my notebook, my phone, right? Obviously, I have best friends, right? But these are the best friends I, materially speaking, that I take with me, I carry with me on a daily basis, right? So I know I need to treat these people well, right? I know I need to treat my laptop, my phone, and my notebook well, because from this I can learn new skills. Does it make sense? And at the time, I remember everything that I was learning when I was on my way to become an entrepreneur, a business owner, was on YouTube, right? Everything can be learned on YouTube today, right? How to. YouTube is the how to, right? So what is it you want to learn? Go on YouTube, find it, see new perspective, different people teaching you the same thing from different angles, right? With different voices, with different experience. Maybe get one or two that you really can relate to, right? And go and listen to them. Check all their videos, study, spend 1 or 2 hours. You want to put it in your rituals, yeah? On a daily basis, you know that from 10 to 12, from 7 to 9, from 5 to 7, you're gonna be learning new skills. Yeah, and sometimes you don't even really need to know what is that you want to learn all the time. You just go out there and go navigate, right? Learn new things, right? Navigate, learn new things, go around, and you will come up with something that you didn't know before, right? New skills, guys. This is huge. All right, so number 9. I put this at the last, not because it's the least important, right? I put this at the end because you need to understand that your dream will come with a price. Your dreams will come with a price, guys. So you need to understand that there will be something that you need to start compromising, right? There will be something that you need to stop doing, right? There will be certain people that you need to stop meeting, right? Because they are wasting your time, because they are getting no benefit, because you're going in a different direction. So you need to start making the decision in life, right? What do I need to compromise? Maybe I need to compromise with doing a party a week and waiting for the weekend all the time, right? And 98% of the people out there, guys, they live on a weekend, right? They can't just wait. They are looking forward for the weekend, right? Oh, the weekend, we're gonna go out, we're gonna celebrate, we're gonna drink alcohol, we're gonna have a party. Is it the life you want, right? Obviously, I'm not saying you can't have a party, right? I'm not saying you cannot have fun, right? But maybe right now, in the position you are, is not the right thing to do. Maybe you gotta lock in for 6 months or for a year time, and you need to compromise on certain things, because you know they're taking time away from you, right? Look, one of the seasons, that has been one of the toughest decisions I've taken in my life when I was in London. And I remember I read these 3 books that changed completely my life. If you wanna write them down, write it down. Number 1 is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Number 3 is The Secret, right? Law of Attraction book. And number 3 is Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and develop new relationship, right? These 3 books helped me to change my life completely, right? And I remember that I was spending a lot of time on WhatsApp, on social media, right? Even talking to my family because I was abroad. And that was taking a lot of hours on a daily basis away from me. So literally I've taken a decision and I told my family, I'm gonna lock in. We're gonna have a little bit less communication, right? But literally I'm taking away anything in order to save more time so I can invest this time into learning new things, right? Obviously, I'm not gonna just disappear, especially if it's your family, but I remember that was a tough decision I taken at the time, because even my mom was telling me all the time, Pasquale, don't call me anymore, right? And that's a tough decision you have to take at some point in life, but you know that you're doing this so that you can come back stronger with your family. Does it make sense? So your dream will come with a price, guys. You need to understand this right now. What are the things that you need to compromise? Okay? Look, I hope you wrote these things down. These are things that they are changing people's life still today and will always change people's life in the future, right? So write these down, go one by one. Maybe you're reading some of them and you say, you know what? Yes, I'm already kind of okay here, but do you want to be okay? Or do you want to be the best at something, right? Take your decision, guys. I wish you a lovely day ahead. Let's see each other in the next video. The next is going to be a bomb. Ciao.